Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Tom Lape, who's the president of residential at Mohawk. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Kemp. How are you?
I'm well. It's been almost a year since you've been on Floor Daily with me, and we did an interview about a year ago around the launch of the Smart Strand Forever Clean. Let's talk about that just real quickly before we get into your big news about Surfaces. How has that launch been, and has it met expectations? Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
It's been fantastic. Just to remind you, that was our 10th anniversary that we had on Smart Strand. We were announcing a milestone of over 7 million homes that have Smart Strand installed inside the home. Mm-hmm. And Smart Strand continues to be the leadership position in residential broadloom from a fiber standpoint. It was a great year for Smart Strand, so we're very pleased with it, and we look forward to this announcement we're making here today of being further news on the products and innovations at Mohawk.
Yeah, okay, well, let's go to that now. This is the short week, and Christmas is just a few days away, and you're announcing that you're going to Surfaces in late January, and it's the first time you're actually going to be on the show floor in 10 years, right?
That's correct. It's a little bit over 10 years, I believe, Kemp. This represents a real sea change for us as a company to the Surfaces show. It's a major commitment across all the individual companies, so quite simply, all of our customers are going to see Mohawk, Daltile, Unilin Quickstep, IVC, Columbia. They'll see all of us collectively right in the same regional location, right inside the showroom floor. It's big news for our customers because I know they have wanted to see us not only back at Surfaces, but in a bigger and more relevant way. And we think it shows the support of the industry's leading trade show for the independent retailers. We're excited to get back on the floor, and we're excited to see every retailer that's in attendance this year. Okay,
so Surfaces this year is all on one floor, and you're there in a big way, and you're going to have all your brands together in one location.
That's correct. I think as everybody walks in, they will be hard to miss Mohawk. And, you know, it's interesting, Kemp. This is more than just participating in a trade show. I think it speaks to a few things that are happening in the business today. All of the independent retailers, they've always wanted to have great relationships with their suppliers, and certainly Surfaces helps with that. But the breadth of product and innovation that is going on in the industry today is really quite incredible, and this allows us to, in a single location, really unify and pull together all that broad product offering and certainly marketing and retail merchandising all in a single location. So I know the customers, and that we've kept this under wraps, but a few of our better customers have known. They're thrilled. They see this as further demonstrating Mohawk's commitment to the retailer, and we think it's going to be a great event. We think it's something else that will really stimulate Surfaces and lead more retailers to want to go to this marquee event. So we couldn't be more excited.
What will be your emphasis at this show? And let me just caveat to that. You've had this annual solutions show, which was usually in early December, and you would go there, generally somewhere in Texas. You would set up what a typical retail showroom should look like, especially if it's focused on Mohawk products. Are you going to do those type of things at Surfaces?
Well, I can't give away all my secrets, Kemp, but I can tell you that if you're a retailer, you will see collectively every innovation we have, both in product and retail merchandising selling systems, will be on that floor. And I think, as you can imagine, we try and do it in a real-world model where it looks like a retailer's floor. So without letting too much out of the bag, the short answer is we want to show our wares not just on a blank showroom floor, but in a setting that really looks like a retail environment. I think it's really going to strike a good tone with all the retailers in attendance with how our displays show and will be lit and merchandised on an exhibition hall floor.
And from a product perspective, obviously you'll be freshening some lines and bringing out some new styling. You also are offering some services as well, right?
Well, there'll be services and product, and keep in mind that one of the things that you see happening in the industry today, Kemp, is that more and more consumers are looking for floor covering solutions. Frequently in the past they came in looking for a specific type of floor covering in a certain segment. Now you're seeing more consumers, when they start the shopping process, may evolve from one certain segment to another based on the attributes. So we have to start looking more and more of how these, we call it the blurring of the lines, how these products are more interchangeable to make it easier for both the retailer and the consumer. So in terms of product and product innovation, You'll see more displays with multiple products on them than you've ever seen before. Even on the carpet side, you'll see multiple categories. So I think this whole notion of trying to see products that work together for a solution for the retailer and the consumer, we're all trying to really mold ourselves so that we present ourselves to the consumer in a more user-friendly way. While products are the story, and certainly design and styling will be at the top of the list, keep in mind there is also new innovations that are being done of new attributes on products, and we'll be showing you a few of those as we get closer to the show. But as importantly is what are the major manufacturers doing on the marketing side of the business and the digital side of the business. I think as we get into that side, the digital side for the independent retailer today is an absolutely critical skill set, and we will be front and center in demonstrating the digital revolution and Mohawk's position on that front as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to be there with, obviously, Smart Strand carpets. You'll be there with your Armor Max. You'll be there with LVT and sheet vinyl from IVC. I guess you're also going to offer a lunch with Google. Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
That's correct. You know, it's interesting, Kemp. This will be the marquee symposium at the show. It'll be the first day on the morning session. And we have Ben Tyson that's going to be joining us. And it was interesting. This is not necessarily a Mohawk-sponsored event. We were actually invited to participate. And Ben Tyson is actually run the digital lead for Google Small Business. Ben is essentially working with small independent retailers, not simply floor covering retailers, but how are small independently owned companies and small businesses working through the Google system of digital management and digital lead generation to win in today's market with today's consumer? What are we doing to look outside the box of our industry? I don't think you can look any better than Google to find the leaders of the industry who's driving the digital revolution. And I would be surprised if that wasn't standing room only for that particular session for the amount of learning that I think we all as an industry are going to have from listening to Ben and his symposium on that Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm. On that Wednesday, so that's the first day, on the 20th.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is big news. Real quick, as we look back at 15, everybody's rolling up the year, and looks like as we look at it, builder finally did show up. The commercial market continues to be strong, and it looks like residential replacement is just kind of depends on where you are as to how well you're doing, right?
I think that's probably directionally correct, Kemp. The builder market has shown some strength, and I think we all went in with a little higher expectations for consumer for 2015. I'll tell you one thing that I see as I'm traveling around the country and working with the retailers is that there is no doubt that for some of the larger dealers that are flexing their scale, I think they have shown some of the benefits of that scale in the business today. But more than just scale, those that are stepping outside their comfort zone today, whether that's in digital, whether that's in different businesses, shop-at-home options, whether that's in changing their showrooms, those that are not sitting still in residential floor covering today are winning, and I think winning handsomely. I think they're winning on profit, and I think they're winning on sales. So I think the bigger story is what's happening to those retailers that are evolving. Are they being rewarded? And I think there's probably a more disproportionate reward now in floor covering just because our consumer is changing so fast.
Yeah, those that are spending money behind, raising their visibility, they continue to do well.
Yeah, I think the benefit of standing out, it's because it's never inexpensive or not time-consuming to stand out, but those that are standing out today seem to be getting rewarded better than traditionally as a result of those efforts. So I'd like to think that, our efforts here are really in sync with what the more progressive retailers are doing, which is we're not sitting still. We're going to continue to stand out and stand up for the independent retailer, and I think our 10-year hiatus from Surfaces, and this is a multi-year commitment we've made to the show to get back onto the floor, we could not be more excited to be back there with our customers next month.
All right. Well, should be exciting times. Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas, and hope you have a Merry Christmas. Again, been talking to Tom Lape, the president of Residential Hard and Soft Surface with Mohawk, about the fact they're going to be back on the show floor January 20th to the 23rd in Las Vegas at Surfaces. And you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.